Thank you so much, Ambassador Lulu, for the very inspiring message in recognition of the life and legacy of Captain Hamlin. I now invite Julia Niblet, Australian ambassador.
Good morning. Can I just start by saying to Ambassador Sullivan, I like your style of diplomacy. Thank you so much for your work. And I really want to pick up on the important message you made at the end, which is that we hope peace will prevail in Ethiopia, in Africa and in the world. I think that's a very important message. I was really inspired. Thank you so much. So, Ambassador Mulu, other ambassadors, CEO of Hamlin Fistula Ethiopia, board members, CEO of Hamlin Fistula Hospital, Tesfai Mamo, Julie White, Executive Director of Hamlin Fistula Foundation, distinguished guests, staff of the hospital, representatives of the Government of Ethiopia, representatives of NGOs and CSOs who are here today. Thank you so much for coming to join with us to acknowledge this very important event. I would like to start by saying thank you so much for inviting me. It's often really boring to hear government officials speak. I'll admit that from the beginning. But it's very important for us as representatives of the Australian government to acknowledge this amazing anniversary. And I, for one, am very honoured to be here, and I look at it as a great privilege to be able to participate in the celebration of the 100th anniversary of Dr. Catherine Hamlin's birth. So thank you for including me. What an amazing anniversary. I came here last year. It only seems like it was recently, but the celebration last year was joyful. It was energetic. It was really so amazingly impressive. And I just want to honour the family members of Dr. Catherine Hamlin who come here every year, sometimes more regularly, but I want to honour them today for their visit and for their participation. And to say that this is a wonderful example of the legacy that is continued by the family participating in these events and turning up, coming here and being fully engaged is really, really impressive. So an amazing anniversary to celebrate, and I'm really glad that there are so many people here. So you all know that Dr. Catherine Hamlin was a much celebrated Australian figure, and we always consider her in Australia a national treasure. We know that she is probably the strongest personal link between Australia and Ethiopia. And for those of us who are diplomats, we work hard to try and build these links between the peoples of our countries. It's sometimes difficult because we're far away. Ethiopia is far away. We didn't have a pattern of travel from Australia to Ethiopia 60 years ago. It wasn't common. So we're really very pleased that we have this wonderful emblem, this wonderful representative of the strong people-to-people ties. And you need to be aware that even in Australia, Dr. Catherine Hamlin has long been treasured and has received multiple awards. So she was awarded the highest civilian honour in Australia, appointed as what we call a Companion of the Order of Australia in 1995. She was appointed a member of the Order of Australia in 1983 for her services to gynecology and obstetrics in developing countries. That's acknowledging her work in Ethiopia. And she was nominated twice for the Nobel Peace Prize. So these are amazing official recognitions of her contribution. So I've been in Addis now for almost 2.5 years, and whenever I mention to anybody in Ethiopia that I'm Australian, they always, without fail, tell me about the respect they have for Dr. Catherine Hamlin. So she's very much as the key representative of Australia. And most people I speak to tell me how much they value her dedication to curing and caring for women with birth injuries. And I noticed on one of the photos in the exhibition we have a sign that Dr. Catherine Hamlin is the mother of all mothers in Australia. I think it's a lovely reference. We also want to recognise the messages that were given before me here today about the really strong trailblazing role of Dr. Hamlin in the kind of treatment that she was advocating for women with birth injuries. So that Hamlin model of care, I think, is worth acknowledging. And what we really consider is important is that it's a holistic model of care. It looks at, as you said, the personalised approach to care and the whole person, and the journey that women go on when they have obstructed labour, where they do need not only to be assisted surgically, but also the care they need afterwards, and the important reintegration work so that they can be accepted back in their communities. And now, even more importantly, the skills development that is so vital to helping maintain a sustainable model of care where more and more women in Ethiopia have the skills that are needed to work in this important area of obstetric care. So we've heard today that over 70,000 Ethiopian women have had their health, but also importantly their dignity restored by the work of the Hamlin Foundation. And I think that's an amazing achievement that Dr. Hamlin probably wouldn't have foreshadowed at the time she first arrived here in Ethiopia. But we're very proud of that, and those numbers are pretty impressive in terms of the work that she's done and the impact she's had on women. So just looking to the future and Dr. Hamlin's legacy, we really are pleased with the impressive work that the Catherine Hamlin Fistula Foundation continues to make sure her legacy is preserved. Since 1984, Australia has been a major contributor to the work of the Hamlin Fistula Hospital. And although it is just about the money helps. So we're really proud that we've been able to support financially the sustainability of the 6 treatment centres around Ethiopia. And we see that the foundation plays a very important role to ensure the training and empowerment, not only of the doctors with the surgical specialisation, and I'm really pleased those international surgical workshops and research workshops are continuing, but also the nurses and the health workers that need to be skilled and re-skilled and have their skills maintained and shared. This is the work that creates a sustainable system of care for women who are at risk of suffering from obstetric fistula. So it's not just a one-off thing, we have to keep working to maintain the skill sets. So as I said, it's great to reflect on what would have been Dr. Catherine Hamlin's 100th birthday, but it's also really important to look to the future and how we all can ensure that her legacy is sustained. And we share with the comments from previous speakers about the importance of sticking to that objective, that ambition, that aspiration of eliminating fistula in Ethiopia, but also in Africa and beyond. So first of all, I'd just like to commend the Hamlin Foundation for launching Project Zero last year in 2023. I think the efforts of going door to door to try to find and help women suffering fistula is a really incredibly courageous and challenging way of tackling the issue. But what we think is important about that is you make that personal connection and you can build confidence amongst women who may be fearful of seeking care. So if we just reflect for a moment on what a legacy it would be if we could completely eradicate this particular medical challenge for all women here in Ethiopia. I know Dr. Hamlin will be very proud, and I think it will be wonderful to achieve her ultimate goal for the Fistula Hospital in Addis to become simply a maternity hospital. So I want to congratulate everybody here today for participating and for the work that you do in carrying on important vision for Hamlin. And I want to say you should be very proud of your achievements. I pass my best wishes on behalf of the Australian government to all of you as we celebrate this very special day. And thank you once again for including me in the celebration.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Julian Digley from Australia. All right, so now we proceed to our next speaker, who will be one of the close relatives of Catherine Hamlin. I now have the privilege to invite Alison Walker.
Distinguished guests, it's a real pleasure and honour to represent the Hamlin partners on this great day and to bring you wishes from the partner organisations from around the world. We extend from New Zealand, Australia, many countries in Europe, United Kingdom and North America, and it is really exciting to be part of today. As David and Joanne will testify, Auntie Kat, as we called her, was a very special relative. She and Reg would come back to Australia every 3 years or so after arriving here in 1959, and those times when they visited were real highlights of my childhood. And I think that it's fair to say that she has had a huge influence on her family. Many of us have gone into women's health, as David would testify, as I can say, as a result of the influence that she had just within her family. And then that has extended to many, many health professionals in Australia, in New Zealand, in fact, many countries outside of Ethiopia. It's a very strong legacy that we're celebrating. I first came to the Fistula Hospital in 1982 as a very young medical student. I stayed in that tukul there that was down in the garden. I also confess that the first time I went into the operating theatre, I almost fainted, which might explain why I went into public health. But my memories of Catherine, I have 4 distinct features that I want to share. At that time when I was staying here, I'd go down to her home for breakfast every morning, and a very strong visual memory is her sitting outside her living room on the terrace in the garden, reading the Daily Light every morning. And I think it really refers to that reading earlier, that she really did set her eyes on Jesus and started the day every way in a very humble way. The second is her laugh, and I can hear the laugh now. Often it was at my expense, but very often it was her own expense. She had a very lovely, deprecating sense of humour. Loved to see the funny side and the ridiculous side of many things in life, and that was a really delightful memory. Thirdly is her garden and the fact how it reflected the recognition of the need to provide more than just clinical care, but to do that in a healing surrounding, and that many of us carried seeds over from when we came and visited to get the diversity of this beautiful place. I think the last thing I wanted to mention is the focus and dedication and clinical quality of care that she brought, which extended first to touching women when they arrived. Women who perhaps hadn't been touched for years, who had been really, really isolated. And that sort of giving people a hug, not caring what, how they presented, and just that real love that was mentioned was so evident in the way she and Reg cared for patients. That care, I think, has been a big part of the legacy. Fistula wasn't a thing that in the global community people talked about in women's health. It was all about other areas. This hospital, the work that you have been doing, has made fistula been put on the map of global maternal health. There are fistula centres now right across Africa, right across Asia, in places where women have had difficulty accessing care during birth and find themselves with this terrible injury. That is a legacy of this place. There are probably very few fistula surgeons that if you trace who they learnt their skill from, doesn't come back to this hospital here. But as well as that, I think, and people have mentioned that, is this holistic care. I work in global maternal health, and I talk a lot about respectful maternity care, the dignity that women deserve during birth. That is, you are 50 years ahead of your time here. That has only been really in the discourse in the global health community for the last 15 years. So I really want to pay tribute to the work that you have really created here. I think the other really strong and really encouraging development is the take-up of governments in the same fight. That the Ethiopian government, the Ministry of Health, have committed to a fistula-free Ethiopia. They share the vision that was first articulated here. And I just want to say on behalf of the Hamlin partners two things. One, we are committed to that same vision of a fistula-free Ethiopia. We want to see that thrive. The project here, I think, is a really, really exciting innovation to ensure that, ensuring that there are very high quality midwives providing care in remote locations so no woman ever has to have an obstructed labour that isn't dealt with in a timely way. And I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you for continuing that legacy. So I'm a second other.
Thank you so much, Dr. Alisa Morgan. She spoke on behalf of partners as well, and also as a close family member to Catherine. I think in the schedules, you might have noticed that today we announce a goodwill ambassador for Hamlin Fistula Ethiopia. Unfortunately, I think to the best of my knowledge, she was not able to come here to join us, but she came a few days ago and stayed almost the whole day in the hospital, learning what they are doing. So it gives me pleasure to announce that Amlesat Muche, artist Amlesat Muche, will be the goodwill ambassador of Hamlin Fistula Ethiopia. Let me give you a very brief. Let me give you a very brief profile of Amlesat Muche, of course in Amharic. I'm sorry about that. የማያ ፊልም ፕሮዳክሽን መስራችና ባለቤት ወይዘሮ አምለሰት ሙጬ ለጥበብ ካላት ጥልቅ ፍላጎት የተነሳ ሁለተኛ ደረጃ ትምህርት ቤት ጀምሮ በኪነ ጥበብ ስራዎች ላይ በመሳተፍ የተለያዩ ግጥሞችንና መጣጥፎችን ለተማሪዎች ታቀርብ ነበር። የአመለካከት ነጥቦቿን ማካፈል ትወድ ስለነበር ስሜትና ልምዶቿን በኪነ ጥበብ ዘርፉ ላይ ይህን አይነት ትኩረት እንዲያገኝ በአንድ ከፍተኛ ፍላጎት 2010 ዓ.ም ማያ
just going to quickly walk out to hear those speeches as show you a little bit of the gardens of the hospital while we wait for the sun, which is going to be inaugurated today to the sun, and hopefully we'll be able to grab hold of Jessica, CEO, for the conversation. So I might just go crunch. There's the cake. There you are. One of the very special things about the hospital is the beautiful garden. Catherine was responsible for planting every part of the garden, and it reminds her of home. There are lots of Australian native plants, some English flowering plants, and many, many Australian trees. It's a place of serenity, it's a place of beauty. And for the patients who come here, it's a very restful and recovery zone for them all. I'm standing on the veranda of the actual hospital. The ward is just behind me. You will have seen many of the patients as we walked out, sitting down the back, watching the proceedings, and they are all so gathering here in the courtyard. There's a lot of activity. You know, as you saw, there's a birthday cake that's getting ready to be cut. And the most, I guess the strongest message here is that no matter where you are in Ethiopia, no matter who you talk to in Ethiopia, as Ambassador from Australia, Julia, said, they all know him. They all know Catherine and Reg. Everyone in Ethiopia understands the amazing gift that the Hamlins have given to this country. And they are so appreciative of the fact that that gift continues today. We've heard about Project Zero, and I'm sure we've read about Project Zero in our communications. And that will make an incredible impact on this country. And we're confident that within the next 10 years or so, we will be able to say that obstetric fistula has been eradicated in this country, but our work in terms of training our midwives and maternal health centres, making sure that women are afforded the absolute right of a healthy birth, is very much the focus of our work every day. Now, I'm just not sure what's happening. Just might pop in and see. So that was the special song that has been inaugurated for the memory of Catherine, her son, by the Addis Ababa University Culture. We'll now go to some more speeches. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to testify now from the front row to speak to you as it had been planned. I did pre-record some words with Testify yesterday, where he speaks at length about the importance of Catherine. and I think probably Karen has out on the Facebook site for you to watch. For those of you who'd like to stay and watch a little bit longer, we're happy to show the next couple of speeches, but in typical Ethiopian fashion, there are lots of speeches still to come, and it will be probably another protracted time. You can see that there are a very large number of people here to recognise, celebrate and applaud the work of Hamlin, and the feeling is one of happiness and joy. It's an interesting concept, I guess, in a way, to be celebrating the birthday of someone who has died. But it is a way to acknowledge, as Tessife said in his opening words, it's a non-Ethiopian thing to do as well. They normally celebrate every year the death of someone, but there was a decision made that they wanted to celebrate the birth of Catherine next year, but obviously 100 years is a very special celebration. A little bit later, I think you might have caught a glimpse as we walked out earlier of the birthday cake that will be come up as well, in wonderful European fashion birthday cake. But there is being told to be quiet, so I think we might stop there. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining this live feed. The technology is exciting and interesting, and hopefully you've got a sense of what it's like here in Ethiopia. Thank you.